Hi, Ken Taylor, America's corporate and personal coach, and welcome to this edition of Coach's Corner. Today we're going to talk about the cost of hiring the wrong person. And this is kind of directed toward commercial managers and general managers who might be involved in that process. I'm going to point out a lot of things that lead up to that, and I'm going to talk about why we hire the wrong person. So let's go over those things first. Number one, if you don't have an exact list of what you're looking for, chances are you're going to hire the wrong person. You're going to go purely off personality. And we have a hiring list. It's a checklist. We want to go down and find out how organized they are. We want to definitely look at their job history. We want to know that they're a real salesperson, not a show up and throw up person. So there's a whole list of things we want. We want to know their community involvement. That's always a positive sign when we're hiring. But here's what typically happens. You decide that you need a commercial person. Maybe you're a dealership that's new to the business side, the commercial side, or maybe you haven't hired anybody in a long time. You've had a one-man show for a long, long time, so you hire that person. Sometimes we take somebody off the showroom floor, and unfortunately, the people we take off the showroom floor are not the productive people. It's some young person that say, well, gosh, they're struggling there. Let's try them in outside sales. Huge mistake, absolutely huge mistake. Hiring a friend just because they're a friend, huge mistake. Taking somebody else internally, sometimes we might have a good parts or service guy. Well, they're a great parts and service guy, but what guarantees they're going to be a good outside salesperson? That's a difficult job. So think about when we hire the wrong person, the cost. Typically, and unfortunately, dealerships will bring them in and try to pay them like a retail person. They'll put them on a 90-day draw against commission. After 90 days, the party's over. And guess what? Very few of them, especially with no direction, are going to make it in 90 days. So we might have hired the right person, but not given them the education and the equipment and the time to grow their business. So it's not necessarily always hiring the wrong person. It's not giving the right person the right tools and the right time. So it's very important that you look at that in the whole process. A retail pay plan, very different than a commercial pay plan. And you can always contact me, Ken, at CoachKenTaylor.com, and we can give you a hiring guide. We actually have a 20-page hiring guide for commercial sales. So if you need that, email us, email willbrogan@gmail.com, and we'll make sure that you have that hiring guide. So very, very, very important. You have to have a month-by-month plan for this person, and that should be at least a 6-month plan. Our hiring guide and our program, 90 Days to Success, is not about selling a bunch of trucks in 90 days. It's about doing the right thing over 90 days that lead to truck sales. This is not a 90-day business. On average, it's going to take someone a year to get up to speed. And you've got to be willing to make that investment, or you're just playing at this. I see so many dealerships that are dipping their toe in the water versus making a full commitment to success. And that's what we have to be able to do, is make that full commitment to success. If we don't, chances are you're going to fail. So it's not just about hiring the right person, but it's about having the right person doing the right things, and that's where we come in. So we can dramatically help you with that process. We've been very successful not only in the hiring process. In fact, I interviewed someone yesterday for a dealership, but it's also having the right system that they can thrive under and they can grow under. So remember that as you're going through this. So be careful in your hiring practices. So many dealerships have someone come in, they put an ad in Indeed, or they put an ad in one of the other online job-seeking sites, and you tell them everything about the job. And that's the worst thing you can do. Describe the job, and we have an actual description that you can use. Describe the job, and let them know that it's outside business-to-business sales. We seldom mention the dealership, and the reason we don't is because they will automatically assume it's a retail showroom floor job, and a lot of people have gotten a bad taste of that. So we don't mention the dealership in the ad. We just mention business sale, locally owned company, good benefits, unlimited territory. That's kind of the generality of our ad. And it gets a lot of responses. We found a lot of good people. I want to tell you a great story. It's kind of interesting. And this involves a local dealership here in Nimnik Chevrolet that we've been working with for almost 15 years on and off. And Scott Liner, one of our salespeople, had met someone at soccer practice. Both their sons played soccer, and the gentleman mentioned he was in sales. His company was kind of folding up in the area. He was looking for a sales position. So Mike Dungy and I, the commercial manager, interviewed him. Very tough interview. I'm very tough on interviews. I make them role play. I have a whole checklist. I make them bring their organizational tools to the meetings. So Mike and I interviewed this guy in depth, and Mike Dungy wasn't totally sure if this was the right guy. And I said, hey, I think he is. Let's hire him. In fact, I made a statement, I'll refund everything you've ever paid to me if this guy doesn't work out. And fortunately, Mike McCullers did work out. And he went on to become the salesperson of the year several times at Nimnik, and their top commercial salesperson, generally averaging somewhere around 20 to 25 units per month. Loves the business, is making a great income, and that's an example of hiring right. You know, we didn't tell him everything about the dealership. We made him talk, and we made him give us information until we knew he was the right guy. And guess what? I worked with him for the first 3 months. So we got him doing all the right things. 3 outside appointment calls per day, 4 days a week, joining associations, joining networking groups, making appointments with those people. It's amazing. He did everything I asked him to do, and to this day, he's still one of the most successful salespeople that I've ever met. So hats off to Mike McCullers, hats off to Mike Dungy for a great hiring job. Thanks for being with us today. There's a lot more about this topic. Please, if you have questions, you can always email me at ken@coachkentaylor.com, and go to our website, www.commercialtrucktraining. A lot of free information, a lot of information about our Ultimate Boot Camp. So if you do have a new guy, you need to send him to that boot camp. Thank you for being with us, and go sell some trucks.